Hot one today. It's like 85 degrees right now. I'm about probably a little over 2 miles from the truck. I'm sweating my boys off. I wanted to get away from the road a little bit and see what's going on back here. Walk around, look at some of the areas that I suspect are holding early season bucks, and just get a grasp for what's going on, where crops are planted on the back side of the property, and kind of look at where the deer are feeding and stuff. And when you get back in areas like this, you're not going to see shining sign this time of the year. You got to fall a little bit back on your sign from spring scouting or years ago, because you're not going to find tracks and stuff and trails in this fresh green grass. But what you are going to see is areas with heavy browse, and what's flooded, what's not. This area has fluctuating water levels. But this right here, I mean, you got to key in when all these little branches are bitten off on the tops. Every single one of them. Some fresh, some old. The whole thing. That's a good sign there's a lot of deer coming through here. Every single one of these trees, the tips are nipped off. So there's some deer spending some time right in here in this isolated patch. And what we want to look at is right over here. Last year it had really, really good bedding. And I just want to go in there and kind of tweak where I was. You know, find the exact tree I need to be in. I'm probably going to kick some deer out of there based on the sign here. But that's okay. I mean, there's still a couple months to season. It's not the ideal thing to kick them out of there now, but I can guarantee you about 2 weeks before season, all the way around here, people are going to start coming in here and setting up and stuff, and they're not going to go in there, and deer are going to forget that I was there, and it's going to push deer in. As long as I'm not too close to season, I think I'll get away with it. Yeah, I think it's going to do some damage. But if I don't go in there and find a better tree than where I was last year, I don't want to be wandering around in there when I'm setting up. If I don't do that now, it ain't gonna get done. So this is my last chance, timing-wise, to get that done. But just gonna finish the day up scouting here. I can't spend too long out here because it is really, really hot, and this particular area doesn't have hardly any trees. So I'm just in the blaring sun. As I follow the trail in, I keep an eye out for browse. Now they're not going to browse in this grass much, but I see some stinging nettles up here. Yeah, sure enough, look at that. Stinging nettles are bit off. Tell me there's deer active in here. Here's a little fact about stinging nettles. Stinging nettles, when it touches you and it burns really bad, it almost feels like a chemical reaction. You can't stop that itching. And that itching can really be bad. I mean, it's like a burning sensation. I'm sure most of you have experienced that if you hunt in these swamps and marshes and such. And it's a survival food. A lot of people eat stinging nettles. I shouldn't say a lot of people eat it, but it is a well-known survival food. And I've actually eaten it myself, but you better make sure it's cooked. What happens is the little needles on the edges of the stinging nettles are what get you. They're little like micro needles, and when it cooks, those melt down and can't hurt you. Then it's just like eating spinach or something. Probably pretty similar to that, or turnip greens or something. But you can actually cook and eat stinging nettles. I just saw a story recently, came out of a western state where some woman went for a walk and thought she got bit by a spider, and called 911 because her legs went numb and she couldn't walk, and she thought she was getting paralyzed from the spider. And it turned out she just walked through stinging nettles with shorts on, and they had to airlift her out of there because she thought she was bit by a spider. You can kind of see the deer trail. It goes right to where I'm going. Last year I hunted right there. This trail I'm sure is going to go right there. This is all going to enter cattails and trees mixed. In that little oasis there of trees and cattails, there were some really big bucks living in there last year. But I think I need to tweak my setup. Water's already getting deep. Hopefully it don't go over the boots. The Arxis boots are a lot higher than other boots. They almost come up to my knees. I don't think you get much higher or I wouldn't be able to bend my legs. They're about perfect. A lot of times I can get through stuff like this without going over, but with mucks, I went over. Let's see if I can make it all the way without going over. This is pretty deep stuff. If you look right here, I'd be over in the mucks. Now, for those of you guys that are interested, you can get a discount on those using code BEAST. It's the same guy who did the gum leaf boots with us. He's got a new brand now. Yep, I went over the boots. Oh, this is getting deep. It's going to be knee deep out here. It's all right. It feels a little refreshing right now. Deep stuff, man. Look at that. Almost made it. It wouldn't be beastie if you didn't go swimming a little, right? But that's kind of what keeps other people out of here. Even though I'm so far back, people do hunt the fringes around us, which kind of helps because the pressure puts the deer back here quite a bit, right around opening. Yeah, it's way over my boots now, but it does feel nice and cool. You can just see where the deer were walking. You see that? Coming back in here this morning. And you can see how the duckweed is separated. You see the grass pushed over. So I know there's deer in there right now. They'll probably be escaped before we get near them, but they're in there now. Which is a good thing, because that tells me they'll be in here early season. Because that's only 2 months off, and I don't think they're going to change too much by then. By September, they're not going to change too much. Whoa, it's getting a little deep now. See that? You can just see the trail where they went in this morning. And these aren't the deer I kicked up, because the deer I kicked up way back. Ooh, this is getting pretty deep. These deer are practically swimming out here. It's over my knees. I kind of knew that was going to happen because it was over my knees last time I came back here hunting, and last time I came back here scouting. So why would it be different now, right? I just stepped on something and it swam over here. I think it was a big snapping turtle. I think it's literally right there. I stepped on it, I felt it moving, I moved my foot and it went over my other foot and went right here. It was something fairly large. I don't know where it went. It was right here. Oh, it's gone now. Crazy. Oh, I can see bubbles over there, so it got out, whatever it was. Whether it was a giant carp or a snapping turtle. I think it was a snapping turtle. It felt hard. Here's the deer trail going in. Right here. My tree from last year should be right here someplace. Yeah, lots of trails here. Yeah, there's a bed right there. Here's my tree, I think. It's either there or there. It's this one right here up there. Look at how thick and heavy this is, but you can shoot over the cattails to the trails. But I just felt like the deer were a little further back where those trees are over there. So I kind of want to shift in there and just see what I can find in there. But there is a lot of sign right here too. Hopefully I'm not doing too much damage. See, now my tree is over there. I would have a hard time from up there shooting over this stuff. And this is pushing some distance, but this is where the deer trail is. I mean, this stuff's just busted down like crazy. A lot of rubs here from last year. Oh, look at this. Yeah, we kicked one out of here. And there's rubs right in the bed, so that was a buck. So yeah, and look at all the leaves are gone on here. He's been in here browsing. Hopefully we're not doing too much damage. But yeah, this is looking pretty good here. You see the old rubs, the historicals. Trail kind of splits around here, comes in from over there. If I can get into one of those trees, which is what I was thinking when I was sitting over there, I think from over here, I could cover everything in here. I'd just be hell sneaking in here. I'd probably have to sneak in from down further and just be real quiet. It'll be a wall of cattails. They won't see me. It's just a matter of being really quiet. I could even, while I'm here, mark a trail out, but this spot right here is getting a lot of action. You can just see trails coming in here from every direction to right here and going over to where I want to hit. I kind of think that bed there is a fluke bed. It's from like this morning when the sun was over there. Maybe he wasn't even here now because the sun's over there blaring into that bed. There's no way in 85 degrees he was laying there. But he could move to the other side. I'd have to think they'd be back in here under these cooler bushes more often. That might just be a fluke a little bit. When I scouted, all the beds, the permanent beds were under this stuff. But when you scout, it's after season and all this vegetation is gone. You can just see a ton of activity in here. Just a ton. I mean, look at these trails. I really need to be in one of these trees, probably that tree over there. And I think I'm set. It's just a matter of getting in here and figuring out the exact tree. I can't be right here, but I gotta be able to hit this. I gotta be over here someplace. Which is what I need for the wind anyways. This tree right here would actually be pretty good. I think this might actually be the ticket right there. If I can get up there and get into it. It's not the straightest or best tree in the world, but I don't have much to choose from. Yeah, I think I get over there, I'm too far in the open. This is about it. So then from up there, I can hit all these trails because I remember where these trees end, the trails kind of end. Seems a lot of bucks come from that way and leave that way, and then they also come in and out over here. But everything kind of meets right here. And from over there, I couldn't hit this, and I could just hit the stuff that goes that way. But I couldn't hit this main channel, and right here, everything comes together. So I need to be right here. That's what last year told me. So even if I just get up a little ways, I don't have the cattails here. I have a little grassy oasis I can shoot. And we saw the sign there, and I know from history there's a lot of sign there, but I won't walk over there and get my sign there. I think I'm just gonna look at where I can get a stand at in that tree and get the heck out of here. A lot of you guys are probably thinking, Dan, you're pushing your limits here. You're going into a pristine bedding area a little too late in the summer to not do heavy damage. And that's true to a point. But what you got to remember is even though I'm pretty remote, pretty far back in a place where people don't go, they do go to all the fringe areas. And a lot of them bucks probably aren't pushed in there yet. Some of them are. Some of them are going back there and smelling me, and there is damage being done. But what would be more damage is me trying to get in there and find the right tree and find the travel route to it during season. And if I don't have that intel, I need that intel. There's literally, when you look at that island of trees, what did I determine? There's one tree in that whole area that I have to be in. And there's one route to that tree I have to take. It's probably not the route I would have taken. Looking at it from the view of where that tree is and how to get in there, I had to figure out exactly where I had to be, what tree I had to be in, the route to get there without disturbing those deer. Get in there, do as little damage as possible, walk around as little as possible. As soon as I get that tree down, mark a path from that tree out to where I'm going to access from. So I can take that trail into that tree and out when I hunt it. And hopefully with nobody going back there anymore, and all the other hunters starting to come in just before season and messing with all the stuff around, you know, setting up tree stands, setting up trail cameras. I mean, this area is notorious for hundreds of trail cameras. Those people will push those deer into that area where they think it's just grass and water and there's no deer. And hopefully my damage will be forgotten about by that time, by the time I go in there and hunt. Ooh, here's for Tiffany Lakoski, BBD, Beast Booth Dump. Overheating. I'm sure I did some damage, man. I'm sweated up like a pig. And you're contained down in those cattails to get your scent in there. But I tried to stay just where I needed to go and get out. Hopefully in about 30-40 days they start coming back, forgetting all about it. And at that time, all the surrounding area will get pressure. People will be dropping cell cams and setting up tree stands and all kinds of crap. And nobody will have been back there because nobody's stupid enough to swim through the water like me. Most people wouldn't even think there's deer back there. And you can tell it doesn't get hunted because there's about 10 trees and none of them have been set up by anybody but me.